Florida Governor Rick Scott could be America's next Secretary of Health.
Or, as I would like to call it, a chance to show off my world-renowned oratorical skills.
Warning, what you're about to see could make Democrats' heads explode.
It's fun to watch.
Plus, we'll kick off our brand new game show where contestants decide if Trump really said that.
That was Trump.
That was Trump.
Everybody's got to be covered. This is an un-Republican thing for me to say.
Yes.
What?
This is Money, Power, and Politics. Yeah, we have a bit of a circus in Tallahassee and in Washington on both sides. So let's start actually with Florida Democrats licking their wounds and the personal injury lawyer who could help them recover. John Morgan has saturated our state with his TV ads for decades, and now he says he may run for governor, presumably as a Democrat in 2018. Well, Charley Crist, who worked for him for a little while, wants him to do it. The medical marijuana folks want him to do it. Obama's campaign manager from 2012 wants him to do it. And now John Morgan says, by gosh, he just may do this. And we may have some exclusive video of John Morgan practicing his announcement speech. Take a look.
Once I get outside the borders of Polk County, tonight, I might smoke a lot of grass. Don't get up and vote. We can't win. I got up and now I'm back
up to Okay, maybe that was not John Morgan practicing his announcement speech. That was actually John Morgan going off on a cursing rant when he pushed for medical marijuana. And now you may think that something like that could sink him until Donald Trump came along.
But it's political bull. She said he's a. They're ripping the out of the sea. We can't get a school built in Brooklyn.
You're not going to raise that price, you understand?
I'm going to bomb the out of them. Listen, you going to tax you 25%.
Yep, there you go. Voters said President-elect Trump says it like it is, salty language and all. That did not hurt Donald Trump in the end, and so it may not hurt John Morgan. Both of them, by the way, have branded their names on signs and on television for decades. Morgan could and said he would spend his personal fortune on a campaign just like Trump did. So John Morgan's giving this some thought. He even rolled out a 7-point platform, but said that he'll continue to ponder this for quite a while. Meanwhile, President-elect Trump is also considering some interesting picks for his cabinet, and he could pick Rick Perry to run the U.S. Department of Energy, which is kind of interesting when you look back at the way Donald Trump roasted Rick Perry on the campaign trail.
See Rick Perry the other day. You know, he's doing very poorly in the polls. He put glasses on so people will think he's smart. And it just doesn't work. So Lindsey Graham says to me, please, please, whatever you can do. You know what I'm saying to myself, what's this guy, a beggar? He's like begging me to help him. He doesn't seem like a very bright guy. He actually probably seems to me not as bright, honestly, as Rick Perry.
So there you go. First, Donald Trump roasted Rick Perry off stage in the presidential race. And now, remarkably, he could pick Perry to run the very agency that Perry wanted to wipe out, but wiped out himself on national TV because he could not remember that he wanted to wipe it out. Remember this?
It's 3 agencies of government when I get there that are gone. Commerce, education, and the, what's the third one there? Let's see. Commerce, education, and the
EPA?
EPA, there you go. No, okay.
Let's stop. You can't name the third one?
The third agency of government,
Yeah.
I would do away with the education, the commerce, and let's see. I can't. The third one I can't. Sorry. Oops.
Yeah, that was the Department of Energy, which he could wind up running in the next administration. Funny how things change, which of course brings us to Ted Cruz, who Donald Trump is now considering possibly as his attorney general. Now, this does show that they can put the past behind them, yes, but if Donald Trump does pick Ted Cruz to lead the Justice Department, you may think it could be a little awkward and hard to unring the bell when you look back at some of the things they said.
You know, I call him Lion Ted.
I've heard that.
Puts down the Bible, and then he lies. I've never seen a man lie this much.
When it comes to Donald Trump, I like Donald Trump.
This man is a pathological liar.
He's bold and brash, and he's willing to speak the truth.
He doesn't know the difference between truth and lies.
I'm glad he's running. He's energizing a lot of people.
He lies practically every word that comes out of his mouth.
He's a friend of mine.
Listen, Donald Trump is a serial philanderer.
I have not responded in kind, and I don't intend to. I will continue to sing Donald's praises personally.
Describes his battles with venereal disease as his own personal Vietnam.
Listen, I like and respect Donald.
If anyone has seen the movie Back to the Future 2, the screenwriter says that he based the character Biff Tannen on Donald Trump. A caricature of a braggadocious, arrogant buffoon.
I'm not going to engage in the media's game of throwing rocks and attacking other Republicans. I'm just not going to do it.
Awkward. A little bit of hot and cold in that relationship. But on a serious note, here's Ted Cruz on why he's now all in on Team Trump.
I think the American people overwhelmingly said, we want to change the path we're on, and I am eager and committed to working with President-elect Trump, to working with the new administration, to get it done, to actually delivering on what we told the voters we would do.
And then, of course, there's Governor Scott, who spent this day with the president-elect in New York. And we may also have some exclusive video in Trump Tower of Rick Scott's audition.
Cue music.
It was very pleasant to watch. And I think you should be given the opportunity.
Okay, so maybe that was not really Scott's audition. Maybe he doesn't need an audition in this because Rick Scott has said that he does not want to be in Trump's cabinet. But he could be persuaded, especially if President Trump offers him Secretary of Health, because that would give Rick Scott the ability to take down Obamacare from within. And, of course, he would really, really like to do that. Remember, Scott's political star took off by attacking Obamacare. So the chance to run an agency that could run Obamacare into the ground would, in fact, be very appealing to him. But Scott's also thinking about running for U.S. Senate against Bill Nelson in 2018. So Scott's going to have to decide where he wants to be in this and how much he can get done with a legislature that, yes, is run by his own party in Tallahassee, but does not share some of his top priorities. Meanwhile, as Scott meets with Trump and weighs in on the transition, the head of U.S. intelligence is checking out. James Clapper said it felt good to turn in his resignation. Now, keep in mind, Clapper faced a lot of controversy in 2013 when he was asked if he gathers any type of data at all on millions of Americans. Clapper said, no, not wittingly. And Snowden said that moment compelled him to leak proof that America was collecting data on millions of Americans through a secret mass surveillance program. This year, Clapper's office also blamed Russia and Putin for running a cyber campaign to disrupt the U.S. election. Well, Trump did not buy that, said it may not be Russia. In a debate, he said it could be somebody sitting on their bed that weighs 400 pounds. See, Donald Trump has said a lot of things you may not expect here, and that's what we're going to key into coming up here in just a couple of minutes, because we have an all-new game show here. Trump has said a lot of things both sides may not expect, and we're going to kick it off with something where you have to guess what Trump said, what he didn't say, because that Trump is coming right up.
Welcome to Was That Trump? The all-new game show where contestants decide who said what, the president-elect or somebody else. And now, the host of Was That Trump? Craig Patrick.
Okay, welcome to our first edition of Was That Trump? Where our contestants,
Was that Trump?
They compete to decide if a certain statement was Trump or somebody else. Let's meet our contestants. Sir, tell us about yourself. Where are you from?
Hi, my name is Charlie Belcher. I'm from the newsroom. Sometimes I'm in the mailroom. A lot of times I'm in the mailroom. Nice to be here. Nice to be here, Craig.
Contestant number one.
Was that Trump, you say?
Was that Trump? You gotta say it. Was that Trump?
Was that Trump?
There you go.
All
All right.
A lot of people said that the day after the election.
Contestant number two, tell us about yourself.
I'm Merissa and I'm from Money, Power, and Politics.
Well, we didn't go far for this.
Good joke, good joke.
Okay, let's start with the first quote here. You have a buzzer. Whoever rings in first. You have to say if it was Trump or somebody else. Here we go. This country needs a leader. I think I have a much higher IQ than you do, I suspect.
That was Trump.
That was not Trump.
Yeah.
Take a look.
This country needs a leader. I think I probably have a much higher IQ than you do, I suspect, and I'd be delighted to sit down and compare my IQ to yours.
It was Joe Biden.
Wow.
There you go.
Really?
All right, Charlie's 0 for 1.
Wow.
Here we go again. Okay. Here's the quote on healthcare. Everybody's got to be covered. I'm going to take care of everybody, and the government is going to pay for it.
That was Trump.
That was Trump.
Everybody's got to be covered. This is an un-Republican thing for me to say.
Yes.
What? That wasn't Obama? Wow, I'm now catching on to this show. Is that Trump?
It was Trump.
Wow.
Let's start now with the real Trump.
You know, you're really beautiful.
All right, folks, who's he talking about here? Is he talking about Mitch McConnell, Rudy Giuliani, Cindy Crawford, or Julia Roberts? You're really beautiful. 1980s. Who was he?
1980s, it's got to be, I'll go with my favorite, Cindy Crawford.
Cindy Crawford. Yeah, let's take a look.
You know, you're really beautiful. And a woman that looks like that has to have her own special scent.
Oh, thank you. Maybe you could tell me what you think of this set.
It was Rudy Giuliani. Rudy Giuliani in drag.
Wow.
Charlie, you're not doing so well here.
Is he to be Secretary of State or Attorney General? Wow. I am doing terribly. I now see what this game is all about. All right. I gotta think opposites here.
Charlie, let's play this thing out.
I like that.
Okay, Charlie. What did Trump say next? I'm going to give you multiple choice here. 1, this is totally ridiculous. I lost my train of thought. Or he sniffs Rudy's bosom and gets slapped in the face. Or he says, I hope I don't run for president one day, and they dig this up. Yeah.
D. I hope I don't run for president one day.
All right, let's take a look.
Oh, you dirty boy, you. Oh. Donald, I thought you were a gentleman.
No, he sniffs his breast and gets slapped. Ew, it's right. What better way to start the new cabinet, right?
Wow.
Okay. All right, let's see what
How
else.
come this is the first time we're seeing that video? Yeah,
Get along.
very surprised we didn't see that in a campaign ad.
Okay, let's close it off with this quote. Quote, people claim my campaign has a penchant for violence. That is nonsense.
Wait, no, at the end, you try to answer. I know that it's not. Okay, that's not Trump.
Not Trump. Who was it? Bonus for who it was.
Give me the quote again.
People claim my campaign has a penchant for violence. That is nonsense.
Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz, try Bernie Sanders. Oh, so close. Here's the thing against Clinton. All right, who wants one more? We're going to close on this.
All right.
Easy one or hard one?
What's the score? I'm losing. That's all I know. Marissa's winning. You should. This is your show.
All right. Let's talk tax hikes. Okay, I say it is only reasonable to shift the burden to those most able to pay on tax hikes. Who said that?
That's gotta be a Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton.
J. Trump. Donald J. Trump. Now he's calling for tax cuts, but in his book, he proposed a 14.25% surtax on the wealthy. And so goes our first edition of... Was that Trump?
Was that Trump?
That was Trump. That was Trump.
Wow.
We'll be right back. All right, there you go. Coming up, we're going to shift gears now to wasted money and more failures in government because we're going to investigate a fortune in contracts that burned Florida taxpayers. Well, for months now, we've tracked 100 million federal tax dollars to a real mess in Detroit. Our money is paying demolition crews to take down crumbling buildings all across the city, but we appear to be paying much more than we should for this. Charlie LaDuff shows us how we're getting fleeced.
Most demolitions in Detroit are paid for with federal money, and federal rules state that the federal government will pay no more than $25,000 to demolish a house. But when costs in Detroit exploded and the price went over $25,000, land bank staff simply shifted the extra cost onto other houses. That's a no-no.
As far as I know, it is not a violation of the law. It's an issue of regulations. So I don't know if no one has brought any actual illegal activity to my attention. And we believe that there was a staff member that did authorize it.
So you're not a lawyer, and you can't say whether it's a violation of procedures or the law, but as a professional in the private sector, this stinks, correct?
It's very disappointing.
These three got the contracts. They were well aware of the price before.
It was a negotiated price. There's no question about it.
It shouldn't have come as a surprise to Madam Chairwoman. Over the past years, we've brought you stories about skyrocketing costs, bidding practices, and preferential treatment for certain contractors.
Treasury and MSHA are both continuing their investigations. They may be addressing broader issues than what I'm talking about with this report today, but I can't speak to that.
Though the city and land bank are technically separate entities, the land bank continues to pay the city's legal bills. No money left. Madam, I'm sorry, it's the land bank's money, madam. Why are we covering the mayor?
I don't know anything about that. Sorry, I can't comment on it. Sorry, I can't comment on it. I have no information.
So far, madam, that legal bill has surpassed $81,000, and like the cost of demolitions in Detroit, it's sure to skyrocket.
Okay, we track questionable spending from Florida to Washington every night, or at least most every night on our show. And you can watch all of our investigations on our YouTube channel. You can also check out our humor segments and prior shows you may have missed. Search for Craig Patrick's Money, Power, and Politics. There you go. Click subscribe. Again, you'll find a full library of all of our shows that you may have missed. Now, coming up, we have a side of President-elect Donald Trump that most people do not see, and some more possible cabinet picks you may not expect.
There have been a few times this past week when all I wanted to do was just to curl up with a good book or our dogs and never leave the house again.
Yeah, there you see it. Tough times for Hillary Clinton and very good times for Donald Trump. We're learning much more about him. Among other things, Fox News Channel is airing a 1-hour special called Objectified Donald Trump. And that's tomorrow night. It's hosted by TMZ's Harvey Levin. Trump, by the way, did not always want to be a businessman or president. Take a look.
Business school was not your first choice.
Well, I wanted to be in a business that you're very familiar with. I wanted to make motion pictures. I absolutely did. I was going to apply to USC.
What was it about? I mean, that's shocking. Why?
Well, he just
what was it that literally was going to make you break from what your dad did and start a career in film?
I just liked it. I always liked it. I liked the glamour of movies.
Well, there you have it. He's a showman, and he exported that desire, obviously, into reality TV and later into politics. That special airs Friday night at 10 p.m. on Fox News Channel's Encore Saturday and on Sunday as well. This is wrapping up our show tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We will roll out more predictions for Trump's cabinet tomorrow night. We will see you again tomorrow night. Take care.